Marion Polk Food Share began as a program of Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action, actually back in 1983, but we kind of went out on our own in September of 1987. Our mission is leading the fight to end hunger in Marion and Polk counties. Really what's important to understand is what causes hunger in our community. And you know what causes hunger right here is a family's inability to purchase or otherwise access food to feed themselves and their kids. We've reduced it down to a two-pronged approach. The first prong is to end hunger now, today, for the many, many families who are experiencing hunger right now in our community. The second prong is to end hunger long term with lasting solutions to hunger. We have 97 member charities, and we're providing an average of 150,000 pounds of food a week, and they're providing over 8,100 food boxes a month. That's 8,100 families. And 44% of the people who are eating out of those food boxes are children. So there are over 11,500 children a month just here in Marion and Polk counties who are having to eat out of food boxes. And that's a pretty shocking number. I grew up around here. I grew up in Monmouth. And this is my community. And those numbers, even though I work here, I don't really want to believe numbers like that. The school districts in Marion and Polk counties, of all the kids in our public schools, there are over half of them, 56%, that are on the free or reduced price lunch program based on family incomes that are near or below poverty. And that's over 39,000 of our area children. We're involved in partnerships that promote literacy. If children grow up and become adults and are illiterate, they're far more likely to be living in poverty, and poverty is very closely tied to hunger. So by helping children learn to read and become literate, then we are fighting hunger. If you go to the grocery store and you buy a prepared TV dinner, you pop it in the microwave and cook it. Well, sure, it's easy, but that's about the most expensive way that you can buy food. If you prepare your own meals from the basic ingredients, you're going to be able to probably prepare 4 times as much for the same cost. We've constructed a new kitchen with the help of some federal grants and local foundation grants, and that kitchen is operating programs that help families do things like learn how to cook from scratch. So we got thinking, if we could help these families make their resources go a little bit further, then maybe they wouldn't have to come and get a food box at all. We do classes on food preservation, we do gardening classes, we do classes on nutrition. Some people call them teach a man to fish skills because they help today, but they also help next month and the month after that. So they really are lasting solutions to hunger. You can go to, and I'm picturing one of our member charities in South Salem right now, and you get there an hour before they even unlock their door. And there's a line of people that snakes along the building and then out into the parking lot. And it's just people. I mean, you would never know to look at them that they were hungry. But here they are, an hour before the food pantry even opens, and they're standing there waiting. And sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's cold, it's windy, but they're there. Our irony is that at the very time when we're needed the most, that's exactly the same time when it's hardest for people to support our work. On my desk right now, I have an envelope from a mailing that we sent out asking for donations. And on that envelope, one of our donors wrote that we probably should stop sending them mail for the time being because they lost their job and they had to go and get a food box themselves. I mean, it's literally tough out there. People who have been supporting this work are now having to go and get help. Volunteers. You know, in this building alone, our warehouse and office here, over 25,000 hours of volunteer time went into this work last year. And when you get out among our 97 member charities, a lot of them are operated 100% by volunteers. So add over another 150,000 hours of volunteer time. Obviously, without all of that volunteer investment in this work, it just wouldn't work. It wouldn't happen. Food donations. 7.6 million pounds, and 65% of that was donated locally. It's pretty easy to see that that's a pretty important way that people can help. Financial donations. And you know, when we're buying up to $400,000 worth of food in a 12-month period, that's a pretty important investment. If you want to know the easiest way to support this work, it's actually by becoming what we call a Sustainer Circle donor. And these are donors who maybe they realize that hunger is not just bad in the winter and that it's all year long. What these donors do is an open-ended, ongoing commitment that actually provides resources every month of the year, which allows us to do a better job of helping people in the community. Cold, wet, and hungry is the cliche, but I've got a new cliche. It's no more fun to be hot, sticky, and hungry than it is to be cold, wet, and hungry.